The coronavirus outbreak is totally ripe for conspiracy theories.
I think it is a virus out there, yes, but I think it's being blown up so much.
It has the potential to be the difference between a few 100,000 deaths and millions of deaths.
I do believe it's a bioweapon.
We have a cure.
What's really going on in the world?
Once you jump down into that rabbit hole, you'll know that it's true and it needs to be stopped.
Our office got shut down this afternoon. I appreciate it.
There's a pandemic going on outside. I'm Lee Adams, and this is The Rabbit Hole.
Oh shit.
What kind of danger does that pose?
Hey friends, my name's Lee, and like the rest of you, I've been stuck at home during this pandemic, quarantine, social distancing, whatever you want to call it. I haven't left the house. And over the course of that time, I've been paying attention to social media, watching the news. I've seen everything from COVID-19 being a bad flu, but not actually a real virus anyone should be worried about. I've seen people tell other people to film their hospitals to prove that they're not overrun.
Hashtag film your hospital.
The hashtag Q seemed to follow a lot of these theories online, which led me to one of the most visible conspiracy theory-oriented groups on the internet, QAnon. And since I have nothing but time and Wi-Fi, I'm going to speak to some of the people behind this internet chatter to hopefully understand who believes all of this.
Did you see those reports from the New York Times?
Oh yeah, I saw it. I think it's a bunch of BS.
Why they believe it, and if there is any truth behind any of these theories online. QAnon, a group that I remember hearing about back in 2017 that has since resurfaced as anxieties have spread since the outbreak of COVID-19.
An anonymous poster on the message boards 4chan and 8chan, Q claims to be sharing insider government secrets with the masses.
Everyone pretty much agrees on what Q has said literally. It's the interpretation of what they've said that, vastly varies. If I had to pick the belief at the center, it would be good is going to triumph over evil in the end.
I think Q is a group of insiders with access to the president, and possibly the president's part of it.
No one will ask the question, why is that? President Trump, there's this vast right-wing conspiracy that says that there's an elite pedophile ring that rules the world and they torture babies for adrenochrome. Why won't they ask that?
Because and I don't mean any offense, but that sounds like a ridiculous question. It sounds like a crazy question to ask the president.
There's millions of people around the world that are spreading this conspiracy theory. You would think that there would be some type of reporting on it, good or bad or indifferent.
My name is Joe Uzinski. I'm an associate professor of political science at the University of Miami, and I've been studying conspiracy theories and the people who believe them for about a decade.
What exactly is QAnon?
It started in late 2017 on 4chan and 8chan with somebody posting anonymously claiming to be a upper-level agent in the Trump administration who had Q-level clearance, so that's why her name is Q.
My name is Mike Rothschild, and I'm a conspiracy theory researcher and debunker. At heart, the Q conspiracy theory holds Trump up as this chosen figure. According to the Q mythology, Trump was selected by the highest-ranking military intelligence people in the country to be the leader during this time of great upheaval.
And the idea behind this is that Q and Trump are fighting the satanic deep state, which includes Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, the Obamas, and the Bushes, who are satanic sex traffickers, and then they torture the children and then drink the adrenochrome from their glands so that they can get magical powers.
What?
They're waiting for the Great Awakening where Trump takes all of the deep state child molesters and merely hangs them all.
The coronavirus outbreak is totally ripe for conspiracy theories. It's a huge thing. It's totally all-encompassing. And it's also something that virtually nobody's ever experienced before. When you have a situation where something defies explanation, people want better explanations than they're getting. And that's where conspiracy theories come from. That's where they've always come from. People People want to bring order to chaos. Q never predicted anything like this. There's nothing about a pandemic or about a major sickness or even about a major economic crisis. What Q is very specifically talking about is this mass arrest. You fundamentally have something that's kind of the right size, but it's the wrong shape. They're trying to turn this thing that's almost the storm into actually the storm.
What has your research revealed to you about COVID-19?
I do believe it's a bioweapon. I believe there'd be too many coincidences for it not to be. It may have not been a bioweapon that was ready to go, but it got released by accident. I don't believe this is a naturally occurring thing.
Sure.
Whether or not it was an attack.
So I'm Dr. Angela Rasmussen. I'm a virologist at the Center for Infection and Immunity at Columbia Mailman School of Public Health.
Was this a bioweapon unleashed by China in an effort to create a new world order?
Scientific data shows that this was a naturally occurring virus. It's not possible to prove without that it wasn't engineered, but it would be extremely unlikely.
How likely is it that this was some virus kept in a lab somewhere and human error caused somebody to carry it out with them and start infecting others?
That's possible, but we don't have any evidence that occurred. We can't really tell if this was a lab accident of somebody working with a naturally occurring bat SARS-like coronavirus. We can't rule it out, but my inclination is that unless we have evidence for something like that, we shouldn't be speculating on how or if that did happen.
I think it is a virus out there, yes, but I think it's being blown over and blown up so much. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 35 years. Now I'm a private duty nurse. We were in two separate hospitals. The first hospital, one of the doctors informed me that there was no COVID patients there. And then the second hospital that we were in, another doctor confirmed to me that there was no COVID patients there.
And according to the media, this is the epicenter of the apocalypse. But it sure looks like a ghost town to me.
A lot of people are spending more time looking into what's really going on in the world, and there's just so many discussions. Film Your Hospital became a trending hashtag on Twitter. You know, the mainstream media was putting out reports saying that this hospital or that hospital was completely overrun, it was a war zone.
It's like a ghost town here.
They would tag like a video of them going to the parking lot, walking into the hospital, and just like nicely just asking questions.
Hashtag Film Your Hospitals. Maybe you could call the governor and tell him about the hoax. Take care, sir. Yeah, it's a hoax. Where's all the patients? Where's the lines of sick people?
And they're saying, oh, look at the hospital. There's no one in the parking lot. They're urging people to go film the hospital. Now, definitely don't do this because you're putting everyone in danger by crowding hospitals with a bunch of people trying to film stuff. But you're always going to have some portion of the public that just doesn't believe anything, no matter what you tell them.
So chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. Now, this is a common malaria drug.
So you have to ask yourself, we have a cure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a cure. Yeah, it's I don't know how to say it, the malaria pill with that antibiotic.
We also believe there's a cure. There's a cure. I mean, if people are taking this medicine, and there's so many doctors out there that are screaming it. I've had 500 patients and not one of them has died. And then for a while, they were saying in the media that, no, this is a myth. This is, it's not FDA approved.
Hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. Those are in clinical trials right now, and I would love nothing more than if they have some efficacy and ability to treat people. But then we're not talking about curing the virus in the sense that the virus goes away and everything's magically better. We're talking about using those drugs to treat people who will die otherwise. It will be a game changer if those drugs work, but we don't know if they do yet, and we won't be able to find out until we test it on enough people.
They're saying that the COVID is more of a cover for the deep state that have been in control for years and years, and they didn't want to give up that control. So once Trump got in there and he wants to take control away from those elites, I think what the COVID is doing is, well, it stopped his rally. It's destroying his record economy.
There's no consistency in this at all. The message is totally different, like week by week. But no one in Q cares. They don't need consistency. They're used to this not making sense, and they're used to these predictions not going anywhere. And so that's where you really get the cultish aspects of it. It's that nothing the leader says matters, only that the leader is right. And that's where you get this cultish devotion.
Don't just take the media at its word. Do what you can to check them, because we want to know exactly what happened.
I do have a very dear friend of mine. His name is Miles. Miles is currently in a medically induced coma on a ventilator right now at New York Presbyterian. So I have come into firsthand contact with what this virus is capable of doing and how sick people are capable of getting. Do you not think it is a little bit dangerous for people to not take the severity of this situation quite as seriously as maybe they should or ought to?
No, I think people should take it seriously, and I wouldn't go out if I weren't completely protected. Yeah, I think it's irresponsible for people to say anything different, to say, oh no, there's nothing going on. There's definitely something going on. I know of people too that got very sick.
What kind of danger does that pose for those of us who are susceptible to that kind of messaging online?
It has the potential to literally be the difference between a few 100,000 deaths, which is right now, according to the epidemiological models, the best case scenario, and millions of deaths. So I just encourage people to collaborate with each other, and if they want to learn more about it, to work with the people who are qualified to engage them in these efforts.
Falling down this rabbit hole, the thing that we all know is that lives are at risk, and our ability to prevent any more lives being lost is well within our own hands. Everyone has the ability to stop this virus from spreading further. Just stay home and maybe give social media a break. Turn off the TV for a few hours a day. 24-hour news cycle isn't going anywhere, and neither is coronavirus, as long as none of us are taking it seriously.
No worries at all. I mean, I look like I'm in the most insane place ever, so no worries.
It looks cool, like you're in a workshop or something.